5th, 1980, in a ceremony so lavish that the Guinness Book of Records lists it as one of the 3 most expensive weddings, Haiti's 28-year-old president for life, Jean-Claude Duvalier, marries Michèle Bennett, a divorcee and mother of 2. If it looked to the world like a grotesque demonstration of extravagance in the poorest country in the hemisphere, to most Haitians watching on television, it was enchanting, a storybook wedding of a king and a queen.
She was the first person in those 30 years to understand that show business was the name of the business. And her show business was very well done.
As First Lady, Michèle immediately enlisted Haiti's TV network to promote herself as a champion of the poor and to solicit contributions for her Michèle Bennett Duvalier Foundation. Every day, the elegant First Lady was featured in scenes like this, launching vaccination campaigns, touring hospitals, giving her heart to the people. It was a powerful image that won over even such a symbol of saintliness as Mother Teresa.
She took over literally this country, and within 1 year, she had kicked out of the palace Jean-Claude's mother. All of Jean-Claude's mother's relatives, 98 of them, were exiled. So she literally went after the Duvaliers with a vengeance. I mean, to literally exert her power.
It was dumb because when Michèle was speaking, and she would shut him up. Yes, she would shut him up.
In the cabinet meeting?
Oh, well, she insulted anybody at any time. Nobody could resist her.
Were people afraid of her?
I beg your pardon. She frightened everybody.
The system of government that Michèle came to influence so deeply was rooted in corruption. And as First Lady, she demanded a piece of the action for herself and her family. Almost overnight, her father, Ernest Bennett, who was reportedly on the verge of bankruptcy, became a wealthy man. With his daughter in the palace, he paid no export taxes and soon cornered much of the coffee trade. But this was all just a part of the official corruption that had become a way of life in Haiti. The majority of the country's 7 million citizens earn less than $150 a year. And for more than a quarter of a century, the Duvaliers used their power to extort nickels and dimes from every transaction carried out by these desperately poor people. Even U.S. aid shipments were often diverted and sold for profit in the marketplace. By the time of his marriage to Michèle, Baby Doc is said to have amassed a fortune of hundreds of millions of dollars.
He was simply not interested in running a country in a normal way.
What was he interested in?
Money, money, and money.
What about his wife? What was your impression of her?
She was even more greedy than he was himself, because she had to catch up.
But what about the First Lady's foundation and the millions of dollars she had raised on behalf of the poor?
That was just a cover. Just a cover.
Was she taking a lot of money out of it, you think?
Oh, yes, yes. I believe that was a very important source of income for her.
This scene came to symbolize the blind arrogance of Baby Doc and Michèle's regime, the dictator hurling small change to the poor, while he and his wife extorted hundreds of millions. And what the people of Haiti saw in May of 1984 was this lavish benefit ball which Michèle had organized on behalf of the poor.
The champagne that was being offered. I remember that night they didn't give Dom Pérignon, they gave Krug.
Very expensive.
The most goddamn expensive champagne in the world.
Haiti had never seen anything like it. Ministers' wives dressed in Parisian gowns, a jeweler flown in from Paris to present a $30,000 necklace as a door prize.
This party was broadcast live over Television Nationale, the government of it.
As president for life, Baby Doc, with his private army of thugs, the Tonton Macoute, ruled Haiti with unchecked brutality. But by all accounts, he was always dominated by his sister and mother. And once Michèle purged them from the palace, she emerged as the unrivaled force behind the throne. Michèle and an entourage of 14 set off on a fateful shopping trip to Paris.
And for the first time, people got very angry because Michèle spent $1 million for 1 week and then asked for a second $1 million from the governor of the central bank, and she got it. And we understand that she spent $1.7 million.
On what?
On clothes, on paintings, on fur coats, and also refrigerator for the fur coats.
A refrigerator for the fur coats?
Yes, freezers. Didn't you hear what happened when Michèle went back to Haiti with all these furs that she bought abroad? That's not the first time she's bought furs. She has special parties for her friends who also have furs. And Haiti is a tropical country. So at that point, they turn on a special room, very cold, like a freezer, really, so they can put on their furs. That actually happens.
In the palace?
In the palace.
And what it did was to ignite rebellions all over Haiti. A revolution was now underway. There were rumors that Duvalier had ordered plane loads of Uzi submachine guns, and there was a fear that the Tonton Macoute were about to be unleashed on the demonstrators. But there were also reports that the president for life and Michèle were preparing to flee.
We are still here.